Beginning with the session, we'll start by watching a short film. Can you please play that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that at the end.
When you have done, let's see that.
Let's start. Hello, sir. How are you feeling today?
Good. It feels very good to be back again. My voice is going to be a little harsh. Sorry, I just finished a bout of cold. So dealing with it. So here with you. So right there, I get picture. Okay, nice. Yeah, it feels really good. Very relatable coming back. The area has become small-ish, with a lot of buildings coming in. But I think emotionally, it's still the big feeling that I get coming back to the campus, walking and spending time there. 25 years, long time.
Okay, so if it was a normal day for you, what would have you been doing instead of coming here?
My normal days are very quiet and intentional nowadays. Might be sipping a coffee, writing something, reading. That's why I'm spending a lot of my time on normal days nowadays.
So let's move on to the podcast. So as you grew up in many cities and changed several schools, so what did that experience teach you in your early years?
I think change and adaptability, as in how to adapt to change, I think was one of the biggest learnings. It's not that it consciously came, but subconsciously did change, like 14 schools before I finished high school. That took me through a lot of city hopping. Felt about that, like, oh my god, new city, new school, whatnot. At the time, you look forward to change. You build that in yourself that okay, you've got to keep the learning intact. To a new place, new language, new friends in school, possibly new syllabus. So that aspect of dealing with change and being adaptable was, I think, one of the biggest learnings.
Okay, so as any normal student would have some expectations while joining a new college or a new school. So before coming to VIT, what were your expectations from this college?
I came to Erie from, I think, from Dehradun. I did my high school there. So I had some idea about engineering. During those days, engineering was not a big uh, knowledge item in schools up in UP and so on, because I had many engineering institutions there. But Pune was repeated, a lot of engineering colleges was known as a seat. When I came here, I was like, engineer coming, become an engineer, some engineer. And dad was like, hey, you know what, go and pick up mechanical. That's a very evergreen discipline. So I enrolled in mechanical. My expectation was get a good education in a discipline which is very close to science and math, because I used to love science and math as a discipline in my high school. So yeah, I joined as a mechanical engineer actually during my first year of engineering. Good fun. So slowly I realized, like, what are the different engineering disciplines and whatnot it offers and what it is. At some point, I decided to make a switch to computer science. So that's how I started with that.
So looking back at this transition from mechanical to computer science engineering, what skills or traits do you think that you developed over the years that helped you or even help you as of now?
When the change from mechanical to computer,
Yeah.
mechanical computer change, I think it's a lot of people will do it. First year of engineering, when you folks come, a lot of you would come with engineering as a notion in your head, right? I'm not trying to upplay or downplay one field versus the other. It's more what you feel close to it. When I came with a blank slate that we have to do engineering. Why? Because it gives you good solid foundations, and from a science and engineering standpoint, if you have interest, this can further your interest into something that you can make a living or life out of. Let's just join with the blank slate. Engineer बनना है. क्या engineer बनना है? पता नहीं. Right? Mechanical, yes, because that's it. I think a lot of you would have had similar, like someone influenced in family, peers, or friends, and you're in. By the time you finish your first year, I think some of you would decide to do a branch change, which I think, I don't know whether they still offer.
No, it's not allowed.
Oh, you're not allowed now. Ouch. Sorry. Sorry for you. It was allowed during that time because first year was common. Is it common still now?
Yes.
Branch change is not allowed.
Yeah.
I see. My time fell out. So a lot of people will change. So not just people who went from computer to mechanical. Mechanical to computer was very unheard of because the top disciplines at that time were mechanical, instru, and those.
Electronics.
So, why are you doing computer? Like, what is this? But I had people in my family, who were computer engineers, like extended family, cousins and so on. They said, hey, it's a fun upcoming discipline. You get to think around this small box. You do open it up and do things. Because I had one at home with my cousin. I was very fascinated at, oh, wow, this is really fun stuff. So just pure fascination with computer as something you can just touch and feel at home and do something with it. That made me to do that change. Yeah, if you can't do a career change right now, wait for it until you finish your engineering and then figure out if you want to try and learn something. Life is look, I learned 4 or 5 different disciplines over my lifetime. So always just curiosity that you should have that hey, is this something that you feel curious about that to go and learn? That's what I would say. Be curious, but keep learning.
Okay, as a student back then, what did a successful career mean to you? Like, what was your definition of a successful career?
My definition was very closely linked with what the peer, the family, and everyone puts on you. Right? At this age, your own definition is more towards seeking validation, right? From peer groups, family, and everyone. That, hey, I should get a stable job, and whatever I learned, can I apply there and get approval? Acha kaam kiya. Right? This is what you're seeking when you're getting off. So I was pretty much the same that hey, okay, if I finish this degree, should I get a job somewhere of some sort where I can apply whatever I learned? I do well and I show and hey, look, the time I invested there is productively used. I'm able to earn. And very interestingly or importantly, the second thing that comes is independence. A lot of us, I spent a good chunk of my time abroad too, where once you get out to university and colleges, students get a lot more independence. In the sense, they tend to earn their own living by doing part-time jobs and stuff and so on. They're out of their parents' home. Most of them. They don't get easily sheltered by parents. But in India, the situation is very different. You still get a nice cushion. Most of you will have good support from parents. Their papa mummy ke saath hi reh rahe ho, right? Or they have full support there. Right? So one thing that comes when you graduate is, can I become independent? Start earning my own money and show that hey, I have my bound of independence. So that was in my head. I should show that I can be independent. Those are things, very simple things which I look back now and I smile. But yeah, those were my ambition when I was in university.
Okay, so this is the definition of success for most of the people around here, I believe. So
I don't
as
know,
you
but that they will say.
yeah, so as you move through different roles, different companies, different countries, how did this definition of growth or success change over time?
I think, as I said, at the beginning, when you're graduating, you're looking for uh, growth and scope. As soon as you enter industry, you're looking growth and scope. How can I influence more? And then later on, mid-career, you largely look for impact. Like you look for impact and speed and efficiency. Okay, I know how to do this, but how do I create a big far-reaching impact and make a product? That's something that plays on. Of course, efficiency always keeps fighting. Like, how can I do it really well, really fast, right? And much later, you will come at some point and decide meaning. Are you aligned with what you're doing? So I think alignment and meaning comes at some point later in life. So I think that's sort of the trajectory I had. I went through all these phases.
So over the years, did you notice any patterns in how you learned new skills or entered new domains? As you are, I'd say that you like speaking about career transitions and guiding people towards it. So how did that happen?
Um, I think I'll say, adaptability, like you constantly, one thing is going to be very constant for you is change. Right? If you get used to, especially in the industry today, it was not this fast moving during my time, honestly. Change is the biggest constant. So you need to have that innate thing that, hey, I will be humble to go and learn from the beginning again, whatever it takes. And that mental helps you a lot. Whatever it is, a new field, new discipline, or new sets of people I'm working with, I'm here to learn from the beginning. I will start the clean slate. That's an approach I've had a lot. I would say, and that sort of has helped possibly in maneuvering whether it's people or new countries or new domains, new places.
Okay, so many students join engineering as a default choice. So, like after 12th, they join engineering. But how can they still make these years count? Like, how can they take the advantage of these 4 years and make it most out of it?
Uh, I think you will be learning a lot of good technical skills. See, I pointing out that BIT has got excellent professors, teachers, lovely folks. So that will default happen. My two senses, sure, you'll acquire them. Focus on the other aspect, which is they call them as soft skills, but I would more say mental skills. You know, that which you will learn unknowingly. But if you can put effort into those, it'll help you along way because that is what is going to define your career, whatever field you get into. And things like when you lay your foundations, working with teams is something you're going to do now. So working with a team is going to be a huge thing anywhere in life. So you may not need to be the person who talks the most or takes the lead, but find your strength in a team, what you can contribute to. And if you're an effective team player, that goes a long way wherever you work. You have to work in team. We are over 8 billion people on the planet. So very less avenues again again पे काम करेंगे जाके. Right? Other thing is ambiguity, right? You'll deal with a lot of things which are uncertain. You know, ये पेपर दिया इसमें क्या रिजल्ट आएगा. I took and read this problem. I don't understand what it is. I talked to the teacher also, friends also. We have a clue. So living with ambiguity, which is which you'll figure out कि engineering is a bit first is fun, but as you go forward, like ये क्या है? What is this? I don't understand. Like you might pass a subject, writing a paper without understanding half of it also. It's okay. Just learn to live with ambiguity that there might be things you may not be able to understand, but it's not the technology that you're learning. You're trying to learn how to live with ambiguity. And that is super important. Now in technology, where I come from, for example, 80% of people living in ambiguity every day, whether they're going to lose their job or whether it's going to be there or not. Right? Because we're talking about AI changing the world, this, that, and everything. So that is an ambiguity in all of it. How do you try to learn to live with this? Something inculcate. Other thing is problem solving, right? How to take a problem. Engineering has got big problems. You're not going to have a small problem. इसका integration निकालो या इसका differential निकालो नहीं. You're going to have problems that are much bigger. How do you chunk it up? Take a project here. How do you chunk up the problem and solve it in bite-sized pieces? That's a very core to engineering foundation. In any discipline you're in, that aspect of chunking and breaking a problem to solve is one of your core engineering soft skill you will learn. So focus on prioritizing learning this, एक कुछ कर रहे हो आप तो सोचो कि what am I learning besides the raw technical thing in that, whatever is the piece that you're learning, because that is going to get obsolete pretty soon. In the industry, you're going to learn new things as you move on. What you learn is the art of uh, all the soft skills put together, which builds your engineer's mental faculty. So focus on those. It would be like a long answer, a bit bounded, but
It's all right. How can students tell the difference between a passing interest and something that's useful in long run? For instance, if I am interested in some technology right now, which might not help me grow or benefit me in the future, so how can I tell the difference between that? And what should I actually go for?
if it doesn't bore you, if you revisit that topic again and again, then it's not a passing interest. So, and especially if it becomes hard, if you pick it up, which side way career you pick it up, I want to learn playing the violin. Pick it up. Now I'm taking some online classes just for fun and doing it. I'm still trying to do it. Then it's not a passing interest if you're going to it again and again. It's something you have deeper interest in. So rest assured you will get back to it. You will be investing in it more time. I think good way to, if you find that this is not a passing interest by doing this kind of thing, okay, I'm getting to this again and again, then try to invest small portions of time in it. How many of you heard of this term recurring deposit or fixed deposit? बैंक में बैंक account है कि नहीं? So it's this something like that. Make a small recurring deposit or small fixed deposit kind of thing. Recurring means you put like small amount, like 20 rupees, 100 rupees per month or something. So you invest maybe few hours in a month or something into it for a period of time. Who knows? It might grow into your own big thing the later years, right? But keep that interest alive by just revisiting it periodically.
What habits or skills do students need to have to reinvent themselves if they feel stuck in some point in their life? What should they do?
You you'll be stuck in many points in your life. I think with with what you're doing in engineering, right? What do you think? I would say that if you are adaptable, you have multiple approach to solving what you're taking up as problems, right? It will help you wade through it. If there's a problem that's bothering you too much and you're not able to get a solution, just put it on the back burner. Revisit it after a few days, few weeks. You don't need to break your head on it immediately as such. Pick something else, right? Often, sometimes moving away from something for a short period is helpful. Though it's not easy. If that's something that's bothering you, if you're doing a project and you really, really have want to get something done, unless it's deadline driven, which I can't help you with. But otherwise, just put it in the back burner for a few days. Do something else. Maybe revisit with a fresh set of eyes. It might just help you, right? But often with tough career decisions and which you want to do, like which you're very early on, don't have any of that to worry about. Um, for you, decision making wise, in terms of tough choices, would be on subjects and prioritizing at this point. What you pick and do. I think to me, follow your interest first. If you like few subjects more, for sure, double down on them. Yes, it will cost you on the other subjects. So be it. But if you like something, just double down on it. Just follow that through. Engineering is also going to offer you a big buffet. So pick what you're liking and just double down. Just the act of doubling down on what you're liking will help you later on revisit that. It definitely will. And it might be something you might pick up to do deeper as such. I went on a tangent. I don't know if I answered the question that you asked though.
No, it's fine. So, at different stages in your career, how did you stay open to your interests beyond your immediate role?
Beyond my immediate goals. Yeah, I think I just so right. I had a very good friend of mine. He's few years senior to me. I think he should be in his mid 50s now, almost 8 or 10 years. He's also a VIT alumni, ENTC. He's in Pune. Uh, he has his own art and drawing institute. He's a very good artist. He spent almost 25 years in telecom segment. Was electronics engineer from here. Uh, he's an exceptionally good Hindustani vocalist, performed across the country. Really good Carnatic vocalist also, learned for 20 plus years. He plays the tabla exceptionally well. He has learned sitar for 15 years. Last 8 years, he's been learning violin. Of course, he has his own art and drawing institute, which he draws exceptionally well. He has drawn portraits of Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh, and the people who have visited him, he has given them that portraits. That way. Now, you can ask the question to him, because I asked the same question to him almost 10, 50 years ago. He करते कैसे हो आप? So he was actually, he spoke with me before he took, voluntary retirement, or, we moved to pursue his interest full time. He took off from telecom when he was like 50 to 53. He said, that's it. I don't want to, I love telecom as a segment, but my other interests are going so much. I want to focus full time on it. So his headspace was, I want to do my drawing full time. I want to focus on my drawing institute. So that's what he's focusing heavily on. Other things he keeps doing for daily basis. He gave me this philosophy. Like, I treated all my passion interest as deposits. This is literally his guarantee. I have done small deposits early on in my days, even engineering days itself. I used to learn singing and tabla. I kept doing it on the side. I just kept on pursuing it. The time when I got into work, I created other interests which I wanted to pursue. I kept on pursuing it. Now, if I picked up new things which I didn't like, I dropped it after a few years. If I liked something, I just kept on pursuing it on the side, made time for it. So at some point, when these interests ballooned to a bigger size, and I felt I am financially, emotionally capable, also skill-wise capable, I could make a jump, right? So, and then he decided to make a jump, right? So I think I take this just manage your time. You folks will be far more efficient managing time than what we were because you have like a lot more distractions at your disposal. Phone call, Instagram, hai, TikTok, hai, sab kuch hai, right? So it's not easy. So the way you manage time will be exceptionally more organized than what we were. So if you can manage your interests that way and spend little chunks of time, it will help you.
Okay. I would like you to talk about career transitions and how people can actually move from one technology to a drastic change. Like, how does that happen? Can you guide students about that as well?
Is this something this audience would be interested in? I was just checking. You mentioned you had their first year. How about the other students you mentioned? They'll be coming later today? Okay, they'll have more coming later on. Okay, yeah, no, I can talk a little on it. As I said, like, I think like, career transitions cannot be planned like overnight. You may have passion here, I'm just going to go towards it now, like this. All or nothing kind of a mode doesn't work. You know. Yes, there are example of artists and all who made it and they shine up. I mean, इसने किया है देखो. He left his home early on, he slept on streets, and today he's a star. I don't like that now, personally, because it's a route of gambling. You are engineers. Engineers don't gamble. Engineers take calculated risks. So that's what we are going to teach how to make effective risk-taking decisions. There's a really good book if you all folks want to buy and read. I like it. Good artists don't starve. Good artists don't starve. We have heard of. Have you heard of Vincent Van Gogh? How many of you heard of Vincent Van Gogh? Okay, good. How many of you have heard of Michelangelo? Both are artists. Both are known, very established in their fields. Vincent Van Gogh was an eccentric guy who cut his ear off and, at one point shot himself. He became famous. He had a route where he took eccentricity to establish himself as an artist. Michelangelo planned and he rose to success and fame with effective planning and reached that. Right? So you don't need to go the route of Van Gogh to become someone famous in the field of art. Michelangelo did. And again, they had multiple careers and different things. So to me, one, you first should plan things financially in life. Very important. Financial planning is key. You should develop skills if you want to go into a new field of any sort. First, sample it, try it, build skills in that field. Take time. Currently, I'm trying to do a bunch of short films and so on. It didn't happen overnight. It's got a history of over 10, 15 years of planning on it. So, who knows? If I just randomly jumped in and saying that mujhe karna hai, I didn't like it at the end, I'll be like, my God, I left my career there to do this. No. And so you build skills in that segment and you really feel that you like this and you want this. It happens over a period of years. Like you spend that, right? And then at some point you become emotionally prepared that, hey, I want to make this switch or jump. You will know when that is. Then you make your jump, right? So there's those steps in that, financial planning, building skills, and become emotionally prepared to do big conditions. Because a lot of you right now, get to your engineering, finish it, and alright, thank you. Yeah, that's going to be your focus. But again, keep in mind that you do big career transitions, plan for it. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, it was a rounded answer, but
Yeah, it's all right. Okay.
yeah, good.
All right. So, apart from your academics in your college time, what is one memory that stayed with you? One or more?
Oh, the canteen is the biggest memory. It's our biggest meeting place because it's the biggest creative adda, right? You do learn and mingle in a very formal atmosphere in the classroom, but you want to brainstorm anything. whether problem you want to brainstorm or the next play you're going to do or the next dance you're going to do, everything is that canteen. So that had the biggest core memory for us. Used to be the hub of all creative discussions for us. So as a spot that it is, I think we have really good memories of interacting with a lot of our teachers and professors. So right when we look back over the years, you will learn that each teacher had a very distinct style. Each one brought something different to the table. A lot of you will be having very different thoughts about teachers. अरे ये बहुत interesting lecture है, ये बहुत boring है यहाँ पर, मुझे यहाँ नहीं है. A lot kind of this kind of spectrum, but you realize with time that each teacher that taught you, you learn something very interesting from that. So the style has something very unique to what they bring to you. That will only hit you when you graduate in a few years after enter the industry. So I think a lot of that layered in helped a lot for us. During our time, I'll tell you, I'll give you a very good example. A straight up name that I remember is we had a math uh, professor, his name was R.K. Bhatt. Bhatt sir, I don't know. Bhatt sir. Huh? He, his English was easily the worst amongst everyone, across the 4 years. The worst English. He used to teach us engineering mathematics 3. I think 2B se gaya tha. Okay. But I would say personally, he was easily the best professor for most of us. Clear, right? You're teaching a technical subject. Your English is one of the worst, and he was self-proclaimed. He was like, my English is bad, it's worse. I learned English on streets. I know formal English education. I learned English on streets. He taught in English. He mixed with some Hindi, Marathi words he taught. But he was the best math teacher. How is it possible? Because when you know how to communicate, language is not a barrier. He knows what to communicate to the students in the subject. So someone who doesn't know English could teach us a subject as tough as EM3. The last mathematics you will ever learn, after which you're not going to learn any more math. He taught that to us, and guess what? A lot in our batch will have him as one of the best teachers they have. So I think that's a good example of someone like people make fun of him. Like, kya bola hai? So we'll have an entire meme club at that time on like you this is what Bhatt spoke as. So that's very interesting as well. We had our HOD was Mr. S. Y. Prabhu. He's not here. So he was one unique teacher. He will speak so low in volume that you'll have to really be like pin drop silence to your keyboard as he talking as backbenchers, unless you're paying attention, no, you're not going to get it. But his wisdom in the subjects he taught was so repeat. There's no question he cannot answer. So often, if you miss during his classes, we go and ask him, he'll be just open and his knowledge will just repeat. So very different teaching styles, but you learn from these people with layers in time that, oh wow, what they had interesting. One had amazing knowledge, other had amazing communication style. So these are things that you pick up subconsciously. That when you go to industry, you're like, oh, you know what? Let me dig deep and make my knowledge deep in this because I already leveraged my knowledge to progress something. I want to communicate as a camera role where I'm speaking a lot more. In fact, I want to communicate. I don't care about the language. English, I want to just make sure I communicate to her. So yeah, some examples.
Looking back today, what do you appreciate most about how your journey unfolded?
Most about how my journey unfolded. I think I would say that I don't regret any decisions much. Because many years ago I picked up say that let's try to do things so that I minimize my regrets in the future. So sort of a regrets minimization framework. Jeff Bezos had this quote. I remember regret minimization framework, which is like you minimize your regrets, you make decisions, you do it. So, and then later you say, okay, at least I tried this rather than minimize saying that, oh, ये try ही नहीं किया. So about 10, 15 years ago, I decided that, I want to just make sure I like, minimize my regrets. So if I say, I think there's not one, you said one unforgettable moment, right? It's not really any one unforgettable moment. I think to me, every decision I wanted to make or change I wanted to do, I'm happy that I could make through and move forward. Certain things took longer in time. You had to have the patience. Whether it's personal reasons, financial reasons, or your own growth reasons. But I could eventually make the decisions I wanted to. Uh, that actually, like, when I look back, like, wow, I did this, I'm happy I did this. Like, I'll give you one simple big pivot that happened to me. Two big pivots early on in my career. One, when I joined, I got placed in Cognizant Technologies. It was a big services firm at the time. Joined is still big here, but I think services is quite mainstream. And I was doing decently well at Cognizant, and then I realized that I'm not liking software services. And I really wanted to get back to do 3D graphics, rendering, and stuff that I did in my internship. You didn't see that. Just like, within few months, I decided and applied to a few places. I had one professor in Canada in some university who was the NCST, director of CDEX, the parent branch in Bombay. He was up in some university in Canada. He wrote back saying that Ram, you come, you work with me, I'll give you full scholarship. Trust me, I didn't even know university का नाम क्या है. Right? He's calling me, and I know that guy from Bombay. He's giving me full scholarship. मुझे पैसे खर्च नहीं करने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है, I'm coming because I wanted to spend more time learning computer graphics. So I went to Montreal. I left Cognizant. Just within a few months, I decided and left. It's a known name. It's called Concordia University. I spent like 2, 3 years there just doing deep work in computer graphics. I just loved that space. First time I developed liking for a space. First time I went to study something because I wanted to learn. I didn't go there because I wanted a job. इंजीनियरिंग आया था क्योंकि सब ये सब था ना जॉब करना है और सबसे अप्रूवल चाहिए कि मैं भी पैसे बनाऊं. The first time I made decision कि नहीं, I just want to learn. I don't want a job or anything. Actually, मुझे इस फील्ड में सीखना है. That was a big eye opener to me that when I did the decision, was that I had multiple offers lined up when I finished my masters with many companies. It just opened my eyes like, wow, okay, you just do something just for the sake of learning, not just because you love learning something without any strings attached. That's the most powerful type of learning. And trust me, majority of you will not be able to do it while you are doing it because you came here with a certain set of framework in your head. ये करना है. But if you can get to the framework that I'm learning something just because I'm interested in learning this, it could be a small thing somewhere. It's the most powerful kind of learning. I think that helped me a lot. I think that stayed with me a lot. Another big transition I did, I spent over a decade in computer graphics. I spent designing graphics software for mobile chipsets for a long period, BlackBerry and then Amazon. Then suddenly I got a career opportunity where they asked me to go and do data mining and machine learning. This was in Amazon. They wanted me to do something with a team in India which was being set up for all of Amazon. Have you shopped on Amazon? The entire catalog, the worldwide catalog, was around over 2 billion products at the time. So they wanted me to pick up the catalog operations and data mining team and build it here in India. I got cute and very cute. But I got that role, and I was moving to India, and that was so. Someone suggested, hey, just try it. If it doesn't work for you, you can get back to doing graphics. So after spending a decade in one core discipline, like I was one of the few people in computer graphics as a discipline in the industry, doing few things at the time, which I felt very happy about. It was a big career move. ग्राफिक्स होती है, डेटा माइनिंग क्या है, ये मशीन लर्निंग क्या है, मुझे कुछ नहीं आता इसमें. 10 साल आप वो करोगे तो ये कुछ देखा ही नहीं है मैंने. It's fine, I will give it a shot. It's a big move. I just said, चलो करते हैं करके. Paid off well. I felt really good doing it, and that really taught the big thing to me that yes, you should be able to do big changes in life if your foundations are strong. So for me to do that was my computer science foundation was strong, so I could pick up the new discipline fast and effectively do something. Right? So it taught me that for doing big changes, make the foundation strong, prep for it, and make the move. So these kind of changes help towards a lot of towards Alexa or AWS later on, now to filmmaking. Filmmaking didn't happen overnight. I did a lot of part-time courses stuff to get familiarized, but it took the fear away of doing big changes in life. If someone asks me to do, okay, let's do something big like this, different, I will train myself because I know I'm open to learn. I will pick up something new and get through. So
That sounds amazing. Like I was honestly very intrigued by listening to that. If students have to take away just one idea or just one thing from your journey, what would it be?
I think I would say that your career is not going to follow a linear trajectory. So you think it will, but for many of you, it will not follow a linear trajectory. It will be not like chapters in a book. But it's a movie, like chapter. Chapter one. Like say, how many of you watch Durandar? Chapter one, chapter two, chapter three, or old films like Pulp Fiction, chapter. You follow a chapter model, right? So while chapters are disconnected, yet they are linked in some way. Yeah, the more you think along those lines and keep yourself open, that what you set out, set out with the honesty that I'll always be seeking to learn and adapt. You will have a pretty fulfilling career where you go through as such.
Okay, here's my last question for you. What's one thought that you'd like students to sit with as they think about their careers?
I just summarize it. I think, yeah, think literally what I just summed up to you just before, right? I think be open-ended with your career and how you plan it, right? You all will be forced or asked to specialize early on in your careers. अभी तो आप लोग specialize नहीं करोगे, but as you graduate out, whether going to do your masters or if you do a PhD or even if you enter industry, I'm in this discipline, this place, and so on. The world around you is going to force you to get into hyper specialization. So I want to be like I said that I did specialize in computer graphics over a decade. My decision is yes, if you like it, go for it. Really like it. Otherwise, don't get pressurized to specialize. It's okay to be a generalist and sample. Sample the world around you and find your match quality. Find out what you really like. You don't need to time bound it. The world around you is going to force you to specialize soon, but you resist until you find something that you really like. And if you like, no two ways about it. Go and specialize in it. Spend a few years learning deep on to become it. But yes, try to be generalist to learn as much you can sample, and then when you get an opportunity, then decide to specialize. Whether in your work or masters or whatever it is. That's what I will give you as a career advice at this point when you're graduating your message.
Thank you, sir. It was a delightful conversation. I would now like to pass the mic in the audience if they have any questions.